I'm Luz Corcuera, Executive Director of Unidos Nam. We are a non-for-profit organization that seeks to empower Latinos to achieve their American dream. And by doing so, we focus on education attainment for low-income, first-generation college students. And our vision is to create a culture of college going for all ages. So we are starting as early as elementary school and middle school now. Unidos Nam was born in 2010, and it is an organization that really focuses on improving the lives of the Latinos. You know, our slogan is educate, elevate, integrate. And even though I was very much involved at the very beginning, you know, I didn't really participate as intensively throughout the years. But it was last year when the executive director was retiring, and you know, the board approached me, and I was asked to consider taking the leadership of Unidos Nam. And I think I felt that it was a moral obligation for me to do that. And so I felt that as a Latina woman, as an immigrant woman who values education and who sees that my own kids have pursued wonderful opportunities and they have succeeded in doing so, I have the obligation to make sure that everybody knows about their potential, their opportunities, and to encourage them to dream big. And so that's how I came to Nidos. Well, I would say that from day one, I think the community has been very receptive to really looking out for people who are vulnerable, who are at risk, and they've not only supported vocally, but also they put the resources in place. Some of the nicest stories, I would say, are related to projects that I've been involved with, such as leading the community needs assessment and the community health improvement plan, bringing all the partners together. I feel that so many people really care about the environment, care about the well-being of the people in this community, and they are willing to give their time and share their talents and their expertise so that we can really work together, making sure that everybody has a place at the table, but also that we assure a healthy future for our leaders of tomorrow. Some of the not really nice stories probably are related to how conservative this community can be sometimes, and for as much as there are so many people who are open to diversity and they value multiculturalism, some others don't view it that way, and so there are so many stereotypes. They think, for instance, in my case, that all the Latinos are Mexicans and primarily they work in the fields, and they are surprised to see so many Latinos who are educated entrepreneurs here who have created jobs in this community. And also they are in the medical field and some other fields, and they contribute tremendously to the community. And some other stories involve also with thinking that immigrants in the community are people who are taking jobs away from others and they are exploiting the system, which is not true. There are so many people that probably will not take the jobs that the immigrant community takes, especially in the farm fields and the service industry. And no one takes away anything from anyone. I think one of the biggest things that I have been able to receive is the community support. I've made wonderful friends who are very generous and very giving and who really understand the issues that underserved and at-risk communities face. I would say that through my faith-based connections, I felt that I had a family here, and I made so many wonderful friendships that are going to be, you know, long-lasting. I also feel that there are so many people that have so much wisdom and expertise, and they choose to come to Sarasota to retire. and they are able to share their talents and their time with organizations. There are so many organizations like the local foundations who truly believe in what we do. And for us, that's what we do with the kids that we serve. We tell them that we believe in them. When you have organizations that embrace your mission and your vision, it is very important and very special. And I am extremely grateful. The word that keeps coming up for me is always gratitude. I have so much to be grateful to this community. I think I count my blessings every day, my stars. Whenever I come across to a family that is not financially stable and whose child has the potential to do really well, I look at my situation and I think, I never had to go through what they are going through. I never had to experience the hardships that they are experiencing. That makes me feel extremely grateful for who I am, for what I have, for my children, and for the opportunities that we have. I think when I was working in maternal child health, I had a project which was called Project Moses. Basically, it was a safe sleeping campaign for babies. There were so many cases of accidental infant death, and I work in partnership with Major Shingle-Decker from the Sheriff's Office in Manatee County and several other organizations. And we came up with these beautiful, just handmade baby bassinets that were distributed to all the babies, especially women that could not afford to buy a crib, so that the babies had a safe place to sleep, along with the education and information on safe sleeping practices. And I think we were able to reverse the trends of high incidence of unsafe sleeping due to suffocation and save so many babies' lives. That was a very special moment because no one really thought about who these bassinets were going and why do we need to do this for babies that are not ours necessarily. And the whole community worked together. A group of women were sewing the liners and assembling the bassinets and knitting little baby clothing. But I think what really stays in my mind is how women in the prison system began sewing the liners for these bassinets. And women that were having a hard time because they were incarcerated, but they were doing this with love, which really shows that when you unite together and the community is focusing on something, on a common goal, and they do it with love and passion, great things can be accomplished. So that's something very special that I will always treasure. I am originally from Peru, and during the years of terrorism and political unrest, my husband and I and my older daughter, who was 6 years old at the time, we emigrated to Canada. And we lived there for 16 years. And my husband was offered a job in Sarasota. He was transferred. And I think the winter, being so long and so cold in Canada, made us explore a possibility of relocating here. And I truly fell in love with the area. I think it's paradise. We are so lucky to have this beautiful weather and all these outdoor places that are conducive to physical activity and to increase our sense of well-being. So like everyone else, I fell in love with Siesta Key and all the many areas in Sarasota, Manatee. And of course, it was really difficult to adjust because it's a different culture, and also that there is not a lot of support for multiculturalism. I would love for people just to see me as a woman rather than a Latino woman. But I am proud of my heritage, of course. I'm a proud Hispanic American woman. But being a woman, I think, in general, for us as women, we still face so many challenges. What I would like to do as a Latina woman is to inspire the next generation of Latinas. It's important that we show that we are capable of having some skin in the game.